Hi, I'm Scott Wrighton. I serve as Decatur City Manager, and every week you can tune in and learn some other aspect of what your local government is doing. Today I'd like to talk to you a little bit about transportation topics. Although the city, as well as the Illinois Department of Transportation, complete with some of their display boards up on North Water Street, have been advertising a public hearing that's going to take place on Thursday here at the Decatur Civic Center from 4 until 7 in the evening about the Highway 51 project between Eldorado and Pershing. I want to give you some more information and background about that hearing. It's a come and goes. You don't have to be there for the whole 3 hours between 4 and 7. They'll have some display boards set up for you to look at and some ways for you to give comments back, but you can come at 4, you can come at 5, you can come at 6, you can come just for 5 minutes whenever. It's a come and go kind of open house. The reason for doing this is because we want to have public engagement with the citizens, with property owners in the area, but also because it's required for the federal funding that comprises a lot of the budget of this project. The Illinois Department of Transportation won't be displaying a detailed plan for how that section of 51 between Eldorado and Pershing will look. The purpose of this hearing primarily is to gather input from you, the citizens, and from property owners, and from businesses in the area, and from our neighborhood partners in the adjoining neighborhoods to make sure that what we are planning and the other design decisions that will eventually be made will be compatible with the city's overall neighborhood revitalization objectives in those areas. Early in this process, the city of Decatur produced its own conceptual design of how that section of northbound water and southbound Main should look. And the state has worked with that, but before they finalize the design, they want to have this input. So it is not so much a meeting for them to tell you what they want to do, it's very much more a meeting for you to tell them what aspects of the design you'd like to see them include. In the final analysis, the city and the state will make the final decision about what the design is, but citizen input is a crucial part of it, especially because this section goes through an area, one of the distressed neighborhoods that we're trying over the long term here to rehabilitate and to redesign. Let me mention a few other Illinois Department of Transportation projects that might be of interest to you. You've already seen, because the construction has started, that South 51, south of Cleveland Street, that's near Waite's Cleaners, just before you go over the bridge across Lake Decatur. From that point south to the south end of the city is being worked on by the Illinois Department of Transportation. It does not change the design of this street at all. It is what we call a mill and fill, where after doing some curb and handicapped accessible ramps on the edges, then what they do is they come in and they mill just the top inch to inch and a half of the surface, and then so that it's smoother, and then they come in and they do an asphalt overlay, very much like the improvement that was done on North 51, north of Pershing, all the way to the I-72 interchange. That project was started last year and continues this spring and will be finished this spring as well. A project that the city and the state agreed to do actually a couple of years ago was stalled because of land acquisition problems is an improvement of US 36 from downtown, exactly beginning at Church Street, actually, from Church Street going west all the way to Fairview. And that is also a mill and fill. They're not changing the design or the geometrics, the width, or anything else of the main roadway, but they've had to do some creative work with the sidewalk, the curbs, and the ramps that have required them to acquire a little bit of additional property from adjoining private property owners. That's been difficult. Property owners have resisted, and so that's what's taken longer. But that project will also be let this spring, and hopefully the work completed in calendar year 2023. So that'll give us a new surface on 36 West Eldorado, all the way from Church to Fairview Street. And although the largest portion of 48 in the southwestern part of Macon County is not in the city of Decatur, the state will be beginning work shortly on a resurfacing of Illinois Route 48, really from about the southwest part of the city all the way to the Macon Christian County line, just south of Blue Mound. Again, that street is mostly outside the city, but it is arguably one of the worst sections of state highway in Macon County. so full of potholes that people drive around it and create more hazards there. And so that project is happening this year, and I know that for folks who live in the southwestern part of Macon County, that'll be really good news. That's Taylorville Road sort of extended there to the southwest down all the way through Blue Mound. So there are some other projects going on in Macon County that involve state highways. I'll talk about some of those in a future taping session. I look forward to talking with you then. Thanks.